Hello, welcome to a one mind meditation. While we're waiting for whoever else wants to join us today, find yourself a comfortable spot to sit or lie down in and start some slow, deep belly breathing. Inhaling in through your nose, all the way down your throat, into your lungs, but imagine that you're not breathing into your lungs, but breathing into your belly. Imagine that there's a balloon in your belly, and your inhale is what fills up that balloon, and then when you exhale, you're slowly deflating that balloon. And a few minutes of full belly breathing will get us all ready into the right space, the right state to float away on today's journey together. So sharing with you a couple of beautiful words about meditation. Today's quote is by Thich Nhat Hanh, and his take on meditation is, please, when you practice meditation, don't make any effort. Allow yourself to be like a pebble at rest. The pebble is resting at the bottom of a river, and the pebble does not have to do anything. While you're walking, you are resting. While you're sitting, you are resting. Do nothing. Be like a pebble on the riverbed. A pebble in a river, the bottom of a river. I thought that was a really beautiful explanation of what meditation is or can be. Remember to do nothing, be like a pebble at rest, and let everything else flow. I think a really beautiful explanation of meditation. Today's journey is a sense of self. A sense of self. And a truth that all of us have more than one experience of ourselves. You can find yourself in the exact same set of circumstances and experiencing yourself reacting to the same set of circumstances in two completely different ways. It's like the old saying that says, some people dance in the rain and others just get wet. So two human beings can be in the exact same set of circumstances, one experiencing rain as a pleasurable activity and the other one just feeling grumpy about getting wet. Now that's easy to see, but we are like that too. One day we could be out in the rain, appreciating every drop, dancing in the rain, and the next day we can be in the same set of circumstances, feeling like a wet cat. The truth is that all of us have more than one experience of ourself, more than one experience of the self that we are. And that is today's journey, today's meditation journey. Maggie, a very good morning. Very good to see you. Deirdre, good morning. And Pat, a very good morning to you. Right, if we're all ready, let us float away on today's journey together. You can close your eyes or put on that sleeping mask or any way that helps you have as much of an internal experience as you can. We'll take the first few breaths together. Let's take a deep breath in. And release. release. Deep breath in. And release. And one more together breath. Deep breath in. And release. Continue with the same breathing pattern on your own time. Inhaling deeply through your nose, stretching out your spine as you do. And when you get to the top of your breath, as you exhale, soften your spine, slump your shoulders, drop your head. Feel how your body relaxes and how every cell in your body releases. Every inhale and upwards movement. Every exhale, a small downwards collapse. Continue with this full body breathing. As we start our journey with the visualization. The image I like to use for this visualization because it's a visceral experience that we all understand well. Is the different ways in which we all can experience ourselves when we're driving in traffic. And we'll start with the very reactive self, the very reactive experience. As you continue your full body breathing, bring your mind to an incident where you're driving in traffic. Someone cuts you off in front, takes the space right in front of you. You're forced to slam on the brakes to not hit this car that squeezes in when they're not supposed to, very selfishly, swerving right in front of you. As you continue your full body breathing, for a moment, remember vividly an incident in which you became highly reactive, aggressive, that feeling where if you could be the hand of God, you might have just squashed this car in front of you. as you continue your full body breathing. With this vivid image of you being your very reactive self. Watch it play out. Watch the way it did play out at some point. Feeling highly offended. Feeling like it was a personal attack. And as you're exhaling, allowing your body to collapse, feel yourself taking a step back, watching this image with a little bit of distance. Specifically watching you in this scenario. But if you are able to watch you, it means that that reactive you you're watching is only a part of you and not the totality of you. It is one experience of you. We'll take the last few breaths of this phase together, helping our bodies settle down into a space of comfort for the next phase. Let's take a deep breath in. And hold. And release. Deep breath in. And as you release, drop your head forward. Roll out your neck muscles in big half circles. Next, deep breath in. As you release, roll your shoulders forward. Deep breath in. As you release, roll your shoulders backwards. One more deep breath in. And as you release, put your attention in your spine. Stretch your spine to the left and to the right. Taking one more deep breath in. And letting it all flow out. Watching the image of the very reactive you, experiencing a little bit of road rage. I like to call that part of me my small self. A small self seated in my sympathetic nervous system, my small self being that fight or flight part of me, and my small self being somewhat attached to childhood patterns. Invite your small self closer. Invite your small self to take a seat right at your feet. This small self has an important role to play. And I don't want to be rejecting the small self. I want to make sure he knows he's welcome. Your small self sitting at your feet, we'll dive into the next phase and dive into our breath hold after every inhale. We'll do the first few together. Take a deep breath in and hold. Release. A very long, very slow exhale. Deep breath in. And hold. Notice how your shoulders slowly sag as you do your long, slow exhale. Deep breath in. And hold. As you release, notice the sensation of melting as your shoulders slowly sag. One more together breath. Deep breath in. And hold. As you release, notice your body slowly dissolving into an even deeper surrender. the same breathing pattern on your own time. Inhaling slowly, deeply in through your nose, following the air inside, staying with the air as it flows down your throat, feeling how the breath flows in through your lungs. And as you fill up that balloon inside your belly, find yourself flowing effortlessly into that space inside. As you hold the breath inside of you for a few moments, you're holding you inside of you for those few moments. Hold your breath for as long as it feels like a comfortable inner space. Followed by a long, slow exhale. And with every exhale, feeling yourself melting, dissolving into an even deeper surrender. Your next big breath, as you dive deep inside, simply experience how much you can let go and fall into that space inside. Take your next big breath. Next big breath as you dive deep inside. From where you are now, look down at that small self sitting at your feet. Take your next big breath. next big breath, experience how much of a space you're creating right now. By starting with your full body breathing, by getting into your breath hold, and finding a connection deeper inside of you. Experience the space of presence you are creating. How you're stepping out of that small self. Embody how much of an observer you become in this moment. Take your next big breath. As you take your next big breath and dive deep inside, looking down at your small self. This small self, it can be aggressive, it can be angry, it can be petty, it can be nasty. The small self who is often really just scared. As you take your next big breath, looking down at this beautiful small self, as you hold your breath, experience yourself zooming out, further backwards, further backwards, further backwards. Looking at this small self from a greater and greater distance, but also seeing a bigger and bigger picture as you create space. Take your next big breath. sometimes you find yourself naturally in this higher self space. The space where you are now, connected to your own higher functioning mind, connected to your own higher wisdom, connected to Source, the divine spirit that flows through you. Sometimes you find yourself in the same set of circumstances, but responding completely differently because you're already in this space. Sometimes when the car cuts in front of you, swerves in front of you, takes the space, you have to slam on your brakes. Sometimes you are this voice of wisdom. It's better that he gets out of my space and away from me than trying to be behind me, trying to pass me. I'd rather he gets past me. I'll give him the space he needs. Maybe he has an emergency. Maybe he's just a bad driver. But better out of my space. Create that picture of you fully embodying your higher self, because that is another experience of the self that you are. On your next deep breath, fully embody the higher self part of you. Take your next big breath. We'll take the last few breaths of this phase together. With each breath, as you dive deep inside, look down with kindness from the higher self space you have created. Look down with kindness at that small self. Maybe even put your hand on her head, or maybe pick her up and put her on your lap as we take these last few breaths together. Take a deep breath in. And hold. And slowly release. feeling your shoulders slowly sagging. Deep breath in and hold. And as you release, feel your body melting, dissolving. One more together breath. Deep breath in. And hold. And as you release, feel yourself slipping into a space of real ease. No more attention to your breathing. Find yourself just floating. Looking down at this small self, sitting either at your feet or on your lap. Develop a deep appreciation for the purpose of this small self. Our small self is that very human part of us. And that very human part is programmed to survive. Our small self's purpose is survival. And subconsciously, there are many survival programs, survival patterns that have been programmed from past experience. And it's just natural that when any fear comes up within us, that this small self, whose job it is to keep us alive, becomes highly activated. Can you take a moment and appreciate just how hard the small self has tried to keep you alive, or at least to create a sense of being able to cope? Can you open your heart and just pour love out onto the small self? very often for years and years because of the nature of this small self, who from a place of fear, a place of trying to survive, becomes aggressive, becomes nasty, we've looked at this aspect of ourselves and tried to reject this part of us, often for many, many years. In other words, we create a small self that has to fight so hard for survival because of self-rejection, self-judgment, self-criticism. The moment we can put our arms around this small self and say, I love you. Thank you for always trying so hard to keep me alive. Thank you for always trying so hard to keep me safe. I understand. I will no longer reject you. You are welcome here. The moment we can find that acceptance, then there's a little bit less fighting from this small self, which gives us the space to step into our higher self and see with greater clarity, see from a place of presence. We have brought ourselves right to the last few breaths of today's meditation. My wish for you is complete acceptance of that small self. No more rejection of that small self, which is a natural path to stepping into your higher self. Take the last few breaths of today's meditation together. With every exhale, I'll say my thank you, and I invite you to say yours. Let's take a deep breath in. Thank you for having gained so much clarity around different experiences that I have of me. Deep breath in. Thank you for learning that the negative parts, the negative aspects of me, it's not the total picture of who I am, but that it's actually a scared me trying hard to survive. Deep breath in. Thank you for learning that the moment that I completely accept and love the scared me, he is less scared, which gives me the space to embody my higher self. Deep breath in. learning that by stopping, breathing, taking a few steps of a breathing exercise almost always helps me take that step back and a step upwards into my higher self. One more together breath. Deep breath in. Thank you so much for all of the beautiful humans in our group today. I hope you enjoyed the journey of your own self. I hope that it helps you appreciate the different aspects of who you are and not read into any one of those aspects as the totality of who you are. We are more than just one experience. We are more than just one thing. But every time, if we develop this tool, if we develop this awareness of in the moment, stopping, taking a few breaths, those few breaths create space. Those few breaths create a space for us to step backwards into and see a bigger picture. And the more we live in that space, that area of more space, the easier it is to see that there is this part of us, the part of us that we tend to not like and want to reject. This part of us is just a scared human, trying his or her best to survive. And the moment we can accept that, then we embody the being that we are. Thank you so much for joining. Just want to say a quick hello to whoever I have not said hello to yet. Leshna, very good morning to you. Lindy, good morning. Ilana, good morning. Lucille, good morning. I hope you guys were able to sit down and meditate with us. Amanda, good morning. Nick, good morning. Yenny, a very good morning. Hope you were able to do the whole meditation with us, Yenny. Thank you for popping into the live meditation, Nick. And I hope you enjoy the full version later. Thank you, Maggie. Hope you have a beautiful day. So much love to each and every one of you. I'll see you back here again tomorrow. Ciao, ciao.